It is another hot, dry night in the city of Orlando. Ely has given Vance a quick text uh, on his phone at the start of the evening. Vance himself just only having spent about the latter part of an hour uh, awake. When asked to meet with the young yet old kindred, he texts, "Meet me at the bus station just south of the county sheriff's office. Speak to the oversized man in a luminescent jacket. You can't miss him. Really, you can't."
There will just be a reply, okay.
Get a thumbs up reply.
And
But
go ahead.
Vance then heads out, and a couple of hours will pass.
Yeah, and Ely will just, hand in hand with her, quote, brother, or father sometimes, her ghoul, they'll just go in. She spends maybe 5-10 minutes walking around. She strikes up conversation with one woman in particular, who seems a little frazzled after they've talked, but nothing major. But then Ely will just tell her ghoul to be around here somewhere and wait for her. And she will just look around and hopefully see a very obvious person.
Okay. Yeah, this man is exceedingly easy to spot. Um, uh, he is an extremely large and broad man, standing at close to, if not above, about 7 foot tall. Um, he is he has a kind of a bald, shaven head, cauliflower ears, a very blocky looking face. Looks like he's been in many fights in his time. Looks like he's in his maybe late 30s, early 40s. Um, is wearing a double XL shirt and luminescent jacket. Um, and
Ely
appears to
will
be
walk.
playing the part of security, or maybe one of the attendants, one of the staff that works at the station.
Hmm. Ely just goes over to him and looks, well, almost leans back as she looks up at him. And she just says, "Hello."
Oh, hello! You must be Ely.
Yeah, I'm here to talk to Vance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just come with me. I'll send you right up.
Okay. She looks up at him again and she goes, "So are you a boxer?"
Uh, Retired boxer, former security guard. Met
Okay.
Vance in one of my old jobs. It's quite a story. Might tell you it sometime.
Hmm, maybe. What do you think of Vance?
Absolute stand-up man.
Hmm.
I have nothing bad to say about him.
She smiles as she says, "Certain people have a very hard time saying bad things about other people. And she smiles.
That's very true. That's very true.
My parents have a hard time telling me bad things as well.
I see. I wouldn't count you as one of those people that would find it hard to say bad things about others, though.
No.
Now, Vance, don't think Vance would be talking of you if you thought that.
No, I don't get that vibe from him. That's part of the reason I want to talk.
Well, I won't intrude in my business. As
Okay.
he's basically he's done is he's unlocked the entrance to the bus station. He's just walked in. He's just been walking across the main foyer past the receptionist desk. Now, you want to take the stairs or the elevator?
I like elevators. It's very rare I get to ride one.
He kind of he kind of nods, almost as if he was expecting that response. um, as he just goes, "Oh no, right this way, little miss," and he'll open the doors to the elevator. Just press the button, opens, moves up a couple of floors, and he'll just lead you down the halls, fairly short. This place doesn't feel particularly upper crust. It's a bus station. It's so the pretty much the entirety of this building's interior is exceedingly bland.
Yeah.
Um,
Government-ish building, so it's yeah.
yeah, it's an administrative building. It's not flashy, and it doesn't look like it's been updated for many years. Like the carpet's old, the walls are are bad, just suffocatingly dull beige color.
Mm.
Uh, Not peeling off, but no doubt it needs a new paint job. It's it's lost most of its color. It's a little bit grimy. Not so much as to be disgusting or off-putting, but enough so that you're like, ugh, do I really have to be here? That sort of thing. Like
Mm.
you probably wouldn't want to work here. It's just because it feels like it would be very tedious. The whole place kind of radiates tedium. And he takes you to the fourth door on the left, and he'll say, Vance is just in there. I'll just be out, keeping watch. So if you need
Oh,
anything
I'm
from
sorry.
me,
What was your name?
second. My name's Chansey Flint.
Chancy. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, Ely. Likewise.
Where did you get that jacket, by the way?
Oh, Vance bought it for me.
Hmm. Okay.
It was a while ago. We always have stuff like this for well, lots of different occasions really, but also for impromptu meetings like these when you need to set something up. Helps to blend in.
Yeah, I bet you blend in really easily. She just kind of giggles or just looks at him, looks at
Yep,
this
that's what people tell
giant
me.
man.
This giant man who doesn't blend in at all, yeah. Um, but I shan't take up any more of your time.
She just waves after,
Louis. And
and
he'll
she'll
just
knock.
yeah, okay, he'll knock. He won't knock down. He'll just stand by the door. Um, and when you knock on the door, a few seconds later, Vance just opens it. Looking slightly more formal than he usually does. He has a shirt on.
Hmm.
He has a more casual jacket. It's not just some hardcore leather jacket.
Hmm.
It's sort of black cotton.
Hmm.
Not particularly fancy, but it's not super. It's not particularly indulging in his preferred culture either. Very average Joe out in the town. But he says, "Ely, good to see you. Come take a seat."
Thank you. She'll come over and she'll get up onto a seat and sit down. Like she has to move her hands up to get on the armrests a bit.
Mm.
It looks a bit weird, but hey.
Vance just gives a quick gesture from his with his fingers from his temple to Chansey, as if to acknowledge him or say hi. At which point he just closes the door, and we'll walk around the desk, this office desk, and he'll take a seat on the other side. So, should I bring my chair around? I think it'd just be easier, to be honest.
Hmm. You sure you can do that?
All right. He just brings a chair around. Who'd you? Is that the person with you? That was is your guy, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
my dad. Well,
got it. Yeah, yeah,
easier. That's my dad, and I'm his daughter.
yeah. No, I've seen them a couple times now. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, yeah. Sorry for asking. Memory lapse.
No, no, it's totally fine.
Yeah. So, how you doing? How you doing? I would
Okay,
invite.
considering what happened.
Oh, you mean the meeting or?
Yeah. From what I've learned, again, I might be old, but it breaks down like this. Apparently, your clan is, or your type, has the hardest to control their tempers, and yet everyone lost their shit. There was almost a giant fight, and you were the only one who looked anywhere near collected.
Yep.
What's up with
This
that?
That's a pretty broad question.
Yeah,
Uh,
but don't take this the wrong way. I normally play the dumb, well, innocent person because in certain ways I am. But you don't strike me as the person who wants to, well, have anything to do with any of the, well, most of the people at that meeting.
Not really, no. But there's a few factors that play into it. One is that the Sabbat are ultimately the greater evil. Doesn't really matter what I want if the Sabbat comes in, kills, or forcibly converts everybody to their fucked up lunacy. So there's that. So I'm willing to put aside my issues for that.
Okay.
As to why everybody lost their minds and well, yeah, did did the naughty. Um,
I mean,
I guess you'd know more about that than me, really.
threatening people to staking them is fun and all, but
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny.
I mean, you have to get your laughs from Katya. Katya's been good to me.
Yeah. She hasn't been so good to other people.
I can begin to understand that. And her types apparently has been very bad to very many people,
Oh yeah,
repeatedly.
yeah. I mean, she was the one offering to trade off my child for a fucking ring.
Yili just her, like tenses up, and she just goes, "What?" Her eyes are locked with yours.
Oh yeah, I actually learned this from my own clanmate, Alex. She was also at that meeting. Alexandra,
Yeah.
I think. What she prefers to be called. But yeah, she was at the Elysium when a guy called Bastian Giovanni showed up. Basically, uh, long story short, they wanted Roxy and I think my head on a silver platter. And they're offering to give the ring bound with the Red Lister's soul in it. For them handing over, at the very least, Roxy, potentially me as well, but I don't think they ended up doing that because that never got mentioned. And I
Where's
don't
your
think
child
that.
now?
Oh, she's safe. From what I can tell, the Giovanni died. I haven't heard here nor there, like here nor hair of them. I haven't heard nothing. I haven't seen nothing. No response from Giovanni. No moves have been made. It's very odd. Uh, so I presume they've either gone to ground or died, because they would have done something. They haven't been seen in court. None of their proxies have been seen. Nothing. All gone. It's kind of eerie, to be honest. Um, there's only one that I know of that showed up to my club once, and he was offering to make a deal with me. Apparently, he's quite famous in the clan, but he was offering basically, hey, I'll give you a ton of shit and take you off our hit list, and basically not do this shit if you just do this favor for me. And I'm like, sure, I'm down for that. It's obviously going to be a lot more dangerous than it fucking sounds, but it's something.
Grown
It's
ups are
something.
weird.
Yeah, this guy was very old. This guy showed up. I don't think he wasn't from in town from a land. He's not native to a land or anything. So I don't think he really has the same grudge against me that some other Giovanni do. Um, or at least this Bastion Giovanni had. But I kind of raised. I kind of have to shrug because I don't really know what the Giovanni think of me. But this Gino guy, he said, no, apparently they put a hit out on me, so apparently they don't like me that much.
Hmm.
But that would be a fight if they wanted to really act on that. But I mean, Gino seemed willing to deal, so I'm like, sure, I'm willing to do business. I mean,
Fair
as long
enough.
as it doesn't involve, trading people like, the cattle. That's, something I'm not really a fan of. But Gino is straightforward. But yeah, Catcher is willing to give up rocks, literally trade her away for the soul of this red lister. So not exactly a fan. Not exactly a fan. Kind of a giant kick in the teeth, to be honest. It's weird because she did give me like several, like $3.5 million for actually helping Rox out initially. She long story short, someone tried to kidnap Roxy at a club, and I was like, well, fuck that. They ended up breaking the masquerade in the process, so I kicked their shit in and then got Roxy to a hospital. Um, because,
Hmm.
when you hit someone with fucking, our level of strength, you know what I mean? He actually bashes, kind of, puts his fist against his palm as if to emphasize it. When you're hitting with our level of strength, it kind of becomes pretty fucking apparent. I had to do a bit of, I had to take the focus off of that a little bit and kind of play a bit of
Try
basically,
and see that when it's a small girl doing it.
yeah,
People
yeah,
get really weird about it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this was a grown man, so it was a bit less innocuous, but yeah, a bit more innocuous. But even then, like, it was pretty bad. I had to cover it up, make sure, blah blah blah. It doesn't get out or anything. I just kind of made people just ignore it, really. Just kind of people kind of lose focus when someone else enters the fight. So I kind of just try to make it seem as natural as possible. But yeah, so I'm not a big fan of Catcher right now, to be honest. She kind of fucked over my child and my clanmate for very shitty reasons. So I'm not a fan of her.
Bullshit
Um,
politics.
yeah, I
Oh well.
mean, pretty much. It wasn't even Camarilla politics. It wasn't even politics really. I mean, she had
Maybe
no
she's
need of
maybe
a
she's
ring.
jealous.
Nah. She just wanted apparent because this the I think the red lister was her sire, so
Yeah.
she had a grudge.
And
That's pretty much why.
apparently, and her husband.
Yeah, so she was willing to trade off the life of a complete stranger and innocent for a grudge or a ring. In reality, that's all it is. Even if there is a soul attached to it, it's a fucking ring. But yeah, I think I got off topic there, so my bad. Um, but yeah, that's why everybody frenzied though, because Conrad just kind of came out as to how and why gargles exist, which I didn't know. I suspected something was fucked up there because one, they called them a created bloodline, and two, that ain't a Tremere bloodline because Tremere don't look like that. They don't do that. That's not a thing. That's not a Tremere thing. Um,
Why do any of them still live?
I don't
And
know.
no, I'm not talking about gargoyles.
Oh, Tremere. Well, I'm not a scholar on the Camarilla, but way back in the day, the Tremere fought very hard to have a place in the Camarilla, and from what I can tell, their blood sorcery was kind of was a product in demand. So, meh. I don't
That's
think they're
bullshit.
actually allowed to make gargoyles. There was some sort of agreement there as well. I don't know how valid it is, and it's almost certainly not true. Let's be fucking honest. They're absolutely making gargoyles behind the scenes. It's, I mean, the Tremere are notoriously fucking secretive. Conrad might not do it here, but they're doing it somewhere. Some asshole is making gargoyles somewhere. Because, of course, they are. I don't really expect much from the Camarilla.
Why are you part of them?
Um, well, that's a very good question, actually. I wouldn't consider myself on good terms on most people that consider themselves Camarilla, but basically, what happened was, I came down to the city and said, "Hey, I'll fight your stupid ass war you give me a patch of land at the end of it and allow me to settle down. Don't fucking bother me. No, they're bothering me, so I guess that part didn't really hold up. But yeah, wasn't exactly ironclad, was it? Um, I basically took up residence here after the war, immediately after the war. I don't really deal much with the Camarilla. Um, I'm con- I think it'd be more accurate to say that the Camarilla considers me Camarilla.
Me too,
Because
apparently.
yeah, they don't really. If you're in a Camarilla city, they consider you Camarilla unless you're a Giovanni, or if you're part of the Seven Clans at least. But even then, unless you're a Giovanni, they consider you part of the Camarilla because the Giovanni have a whole thing going. All the followers are set. People don't really like them, so they kind of everybody says well they're different.
Hmm.
A lot of the time it's just kind of like you're Camarilla by default, and if you say you're not, well, fuck you. Um, we'll hurt you or kill you or do something stupid and fucked up. Um, they can consider whatever they like. To be honest, it's a giant fucking weakness of them to assume something about somebody like me. Um, if they want to make that assumption and assume I'm Camarilla, sure, they can go do that.
Listen, in the coming weeks, can you do me a big favor?
Okay. What do you want? Because I might say yes, but it kind of depends on what you're going to ask me.
Don't get killed.
I mean, I'm planning on not being brutally murdered.
Okay. It's with the whole Sabat and whatever we're going to face. Just please don't get killed because don't take this the wrong way. Well, you're kind of the first person who I can somehow relate to, somewhat.
How so? I'm actually quite interested.
Well, I've learned a lot. I think Katya has never had children, and she sees a surrogate child in me. I think that's the reason. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of obvious that she has
But being
things going
some
on.
of the things I gathered, and well, the accent and the timing. Remember, I ran from place to place, but I did read newspapers here every now and then. The timing is not off to me. I don't think she's a good person. I like her, and part of me wants to be with her from now on. And she stops herself, and she just. You seem to question, and you seem to keep a level head, and you seem relatively, well, unconnected with other people. I can respect that a lot. That's how I lived for about 80 years, if not longer.
Did she say 8 or 80?
80.
80. Fair enough. Well, that's about twice the amount of time that I've been around as a kindred. So yeah.
Hmm. You didn't miss much.
That's the weird thing. I noticed that our society doesn't really change much, but there are these sort of flashpoints, these brief periods of conflict where everything kind of turns upside down, and then we pick ourselves back up again, and something's changed, or it hasn't. But that's usually how things work. It's usually brief spikes in activity, not really long periods of change. Don't really think the Camarilla wants anything to change, to be honest.
I don't think so, no. But then again, I've only known about them and known about most of this shit for about, well, a couple of months now.
Yeah, they don't really seem to register. There's a lot of kindred out there that don't necessarily subscribe to the ideology and may have never even really dealt with them or have no desire to. Like, I
Well,
mean,
I
they
didn't
can.
I didn't make it easy for anyone to have any conversations with me. I tended to move from one place to another whenever there was any hint of anyone knowing who I was or finding out anything. It was easy enough in the 1800s. and the start of the 1900s. But well,
Mass communication's a bitch.
lesser rural areas, lesser smaller villages makes it harder.
Yeah. I mean, there are still little small towns where you could set up a fiefdom if you want, but I mean, the Kindred population's getting larger every night. To be honest, it's actually getting pretty dangerous, in my opinion. Some of us are gonna bite it soon, sooner rather than later. I think.
Yeah, could you please do so that it's not you?
I mean, as I said, I have no intention of dying. I have things I want to do.
Like what?
I don't know, create a more equitable society, run a tight domain, give people a voice outside of outside of having to kiss the prince's boots. Jesus, I mean, he's not even kissing the prince's boots would do anything in this fucking domain because Catch is the
Isn't
actual prince.
isn't isn't the expression the ring?
Yeah,
Kissing
but boots is more
someone's ring,
degrading.
but you're not using the right saying. You're doing it wrong.
Well, there's kiss the ring, and then there's kissing somebody's boots.
No, 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 no. You're under the boot and you're kissing the ring.
Well, fair enough. I mean, that works too. I'm just using kiss boots because it's groveling, right? That's what I'm saying. It's groveling. That's what I mean. You have to grovel. I mean, to be fair, I just got my domain just by fucking asking. In fact, a lot of kindred seem to have gotten their domain by asking, which is a bit weird. But hey, here you go.
Maybe
Not that I
there's
necessarily begrudge that, but there you go.
hmm, maybe there's more to give in this city. Who knows?
I mean, it's a recently retaken city, so there is a lot of domain that can be given out, I guess. That and the prince isn't exactly secure, given that he's new at his job and he doesn't really hold that much power relative to Catcher. Or Catcher seems to hold more influence over him than he does her. But I mean, there are a lot of neonates in the city who don't have any domain at all, so I don't know why some of us are getting it and others aren't.
Well, you said you helped out, so maybe they owe you.
Well, no, I'm just trying to use my domain to actually alleviate the issue. It's not the full reason why I started up my own club, but it is part of it. I wanted kind of a miniature rack, so to kind of ease the burden on some of the neonates, right? They have a place where they can go feed. If it gets too bad, then I'll have to start, keeping people out or start up another place. But I mean, that's the sort of thing, right? Like that's the sort of thing you would expect a kindred government to focus on. Like, oh, do people have enough blood to drink? Kind of like with humans, do they have food and water to not starve? But this Princeton doesn't really seem to be considering that. They're just kind of assuming that, well, the city's big and there's lots
I'm
of people around.
getting the feeling that probably most of our kind do not care about other people's needs.
Well, that's kind of a problem. Um,
No shit.
it's a case of older kindred. You are perhaps an exception to the rule, based on the unique circumstances of who you are and the life you've lived. But older kindred tend to have a disproportionate amount of power relative to the majority of younger kindred, who make up most of the city's population. Now, I'm not saying there doesn't need to be a guy in charge, because I'm all for decent, competent leadership, but I've never really been a fan of how that's played out. Because it more or less just invites incompetent, corrupt leaders who prize loyalty over any sense of actual capability. We're kind of seeing that here, really. I mean, they've already gone through one sheriff. It's been a few months. Prince and Catcher got kidnapped by the Red Lister and enslaved until they got rescued by their Tremere muscle, which was Conrad.
So Conrad should be sheriff?
I don't think he wants to be anything. I think that's and I kind of respect him for that because, to be honest, if the Tremere started taking every position of power in the city, I would be fucking suspicious as hell.
No,
I
they're
don't think
smarter than that.
Yeah, I don't think the other clans would stand by and let that happen either. I think there would be serious. I think there would be a serious contesting of praxis at that point, like politically speaking, because while the individual doesn't generally have a say, each clan wants a say, and putting all the Tremere in positions of office gives them a disproportionate say relative to the other clans. So they need to. So I think they're trying to work to balance that out. But I don't know. It's just kind of hard for me to take this Princeton seriously, to be honest. I feel like I'm more powerful than most of the kindred here.
Ha!
I'm not
I
really.
knew it. So you want to be in charge?
Um, I mean, I don't want to be prince if that's what you're asking.
Hmm. You
I
sure?
don't. I don't like the idea of a prince.
Hmm.
A prince. It's not like how things work today. If maybe if I had the support of the people, sure, I'd make a play. But like, I would make a play for Prince because why the fuck would I want to be a Prince? Is a dictator. Like they're basically a dictator. That's what they are. They make the law. Nobody else gets a say. Like the Primogen. I mean, in some cities they get a say. In other cities, the Prince
Wouldn't
is powerful enough that he can just fucking ignore them. And I'm not really a fan
she
of this whole
just
system.
looks for a moment as though she's not listening to you? You say that a prince just is a dictator and just makes up the law. Doesn't that depend on the prince?
I mean, yeah, this Prince is basically Catcher's bitch, and she's a dictator instead.
Well, I mean,
Um,
if
Darian's
someone
basically
else
a
was if someone else was prince and chose not to be a dictator, wouldn't that make it better?
Yeah, but then they wouldn't be a prince by definition. They wouldn't even be Camarilla in theory. Depends. There's a subsect. I call it subsect. It's kind of a full sect, but the Camarilla considers it a subsect because they need to fill their little narrative. But they're called the Anarchs. They don't have princes. Sometimes they don't have leaders at all. Not sure I'm a big fan of that, but I mean it's worked in some places. But they have barons. Some of the support of the people. Some are basically kind of like princes light, if you know what I mean. Like basically less powerful princes, but they're always easier to work with because they're easier to put in line if they ever step out of it. They're in charge, but they can't just brute force everything or just dictate to everybody in the same way that princes can. Not exactly that much of a step up, but it's something. But
Hmm.
yeah,
She,
so I guess like a prince that would have the support of the people wouldn't be a prince; they'd be a baron, really.
so that's what you want to be.
I guess, yeah. I guess if we were to attach a label to it, sure. I mean, don't go around telling everybody that because I mean they'd probably get the wrong fucking idea and be like, "Oh, he's gonna launch a massive revolt against the domain," which then they'll just try and kill me or do something stupid.
Don't worry, I won't. Not until you want me to.
Well, I definitely think this domain has to change, and I definitely think the neonates need a voice. I wouldn't mind an anarch presence in the city, to be honest. I think we should have
Well, I'm
one.
not a neonate, but
Well, I mean, anarchs aren't solely comprised of neonates. Like the modern anarchs were created. Well, both the original anarch movements were created by Brujar elders. The first one was Tyler, and the second one was Jeremy McNeil, who's my grandsire.
hmm,
And he basically kicked the camera out of LA because they're acting like pricks. Basically, long story short for him is that he noticed that a lot of the neonates in the city were heavily oppressed, and many were just being unjustly punished or being bound, killed, humiliated, starving, or being kept out of city infrastructure for no other reason than the court wanted more power for itself. Um, they had no right to speak out. Jamie McNeil's like, well, wait a fucking second, this is really bad. That's not right, and somebody needs to speak up about it. So he basically got all the neonates and sympathetic Ancilla, and I mean, probably some elders together, and basically said, "Look, this isn't working. The city's kind of falling apart because of this. Nobody's happy apart from like 3 people in the city. I'm gonna go talk with the prince about it." Then the prince had him beaten publicly and publicly humiliated. At which point he promptly destroyed the prince and his followers, and founded the United States Art Movement.
Yeah, and we seem to have sort of the same, well, same-ish situation. This city is about to get. She she stops herself, and she just. It's not a normal word. She used screwed over royally.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, really. We were supposed to kick this about out, and now they're about to head on another crusade against us. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not the same situation. The elders here seem a bit more boots on the ground, but
we still need to do something.
yeah, and to be honest, I feel like this Princeton is like a picture perfect example of the opposite problem, where in LA they had an absolute tyrant for a prince, who destroyed anyone who even looked at him funny or casually violating the traditions himself. Um, this domain seems to have a complete abdication of any leadership from the Camarilla, really. They seem to think that, just calling themselves a prince and having a hotel in his Elysium and as a domain is enough to call it a night. Well, it's not really enough, Expect better from my leaders. Um, Not only that, but at the end of the night, they are willing to trade away lies behind the scenes like my fucking child. So I kind of have issues with them. I almost feel bad for those that aren't a part of that shit show. But the simple truth is that many of them are, and even those that aren't, would they do anything to stop it? No. Conrad probably knew about that whole trade and did nothing. So should I feel particularly sympathetic? Not really. Like, he seems like a nicer guy, but he wasn't willing to stop a life from being traded away, even though he's inarguably more powerful than Catcher and fucking Darian, at least in a fight. But yeah, and I guess that answers your other part of your question. That's why I was the only one who kind of seemed like I was doing anything, because no one else in the domain really wants to or is capable of doing so. At least not a lot of people at that table. Some of them.
She
Some of
just
them
looks
are.
at you, quite stone faced, as much as a stone face as a little girl can.
Yeah. Oh, his
And
phone
she's
rings
just,
briefly. Oh, sorry.
what?
His
Sorry?
phone Vance's phone rings briefly, and he just says, "Sorry." What? Really? Fuck's sake! All right, I'll be right down. I'll only be okay. I'm not. I'll be right down. He just turns off the phone. Disconnects. Uh, we got some
Let me
guy trying
just.
to break and enter, so I'm just gonna go down. Just gonna kick him out. I'll only be 1 minute. I'm really sorry about this. I'm gonna go BRB for like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hold your thought.
Do, 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 do.
Okay, after a few minutes, Vance ends up walking back into into the office. Shuts the door behind him, locks it. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Bloody kids these days. Smart.
She just there's a smirk on her face as she looks at him. What about us?
Y'all seem to like your bus stations.
Apparently so.
But yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there.
No, no, it's really not a problem. You said not too many people can do anything in this city.
Well, either it's either this, right? Either they aren't willing to use the power they purport to have as elders, or in actuality they have none and are relying on the younger ones that do all the work for them. It's just one giant game of pretend. In which case, I don't really see why anybody should be doing what they say.
Because they might be able to do shit to them that they can't really do anything against. You know, and she does a thing in front of her eyes, insinuating or suggesting some sort of magic power.
That's worthy of revolt in and of itself. If older kindred are just straight up mind controlling younger ones, then those older kindred need to be brought down. I wouldn't accept that, not on my fucking watch. Like, I understand its uses. Like, I've seen it be used to cover up masquerade breaches and to get people into power structures in the past. Like, it's no. Like, I can see legitimate uses for it. But if people are just using it to dictate to other kindred on that intimate a level, yeah, I would probably kill someone over that. Not gonna lie. I'd probably kill someone over that.
So,
That's wanton tyranny right there.
if it comes down to it, and we have a situation where certain people will disagree with certain people, and Katja and others is on one side, you would be on the other.
Given the
Once the Sabbat is
way,
gone.
yeah, given the way the pieces have all fallen so far and the side everybody's fallen on so far, yeah, I probably would. This city seems to have a very twisted view of humanity. It's a very selfish, convenient sort of humanity. All about being nice when it's easy for them to be nice, or when it coincides with the law. But when it's time to take an actual moral stand, irrespective of what the law says, people suddenly find themselves getting squeamish.
You'll notice that Ely just turns her head a bit. She doesn't say anything. She does something, just touches one side of her face.
What's up?
Nothing.
I mean, it's not nothing, but you know.
I'm telling you, it's nothing. Nothing's up. You can smell a bit of blood. And
Are
it
you
doesn't take you long to find out that she's probably crying. And she's trying to dry the blood away from her right eye.
Hmm. I won't pry.
Well, you just kind of insinuated that I don't. I have a weird look on humanity, and that's fine. I probably do. You do realize that I was trying to stay alive, right?
Nah, nah, I get you. I'm talking about the city in general. It's court.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Like, not you. I mean, I understand that people have got to do what people have got to do to get ahead and survive. I mean, I'd be lying if I
Oh,
said I hadn't stepped on a few toes. I mean, that's why the Giovanni hate me because I kind of stepped on their toes.
yeah. You can see Ely just says something under her breath, and she just shakes her head a bit. Just never mind. Never mind.
You want to change the subject? Seems like it's something you're not comfortable talking about.
No, it's because I misunderstood. It's fine.
Okay.
I Arjun Koch has been good to me, but there is something wrong with this city, especially if they let this many enemies just just be there. I mean, they're the enemy.
They were distracted with a red lister. Actually, before I got the call to come to this meeting, I was actually considering going to the Sabat domain myself and dealing with it personally. Because I was kind of thinking about it this whole time, like, oh, the Sabat just over there. Like, weren't we supposed to be dealing with them? And I know we got an Alistair pulled in to deal with a red lister, and he died before she could do anything. Apparently, now we're dealing with a Sabat problem because we didn't really deal with both. I should have acted sooner, really.
If you're going in, let me know. I want to tag along.
Well, I'll be heading to Water's Edge at some point. I need to set up people there, and I'll be going there to hunt down Sabat remnants if we succeed at destroying their caverns. The little cavern
Yeah, I
network.
just want to make sure that you don't get too hurt.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And hey, you know
Yeah,
what? When we
you
seize it
should.
back
You
from.
should appreciate it, just so you know.
I mean, I do. I said thanks. I appreciate it. But,
There's a smile on her face now.
here you go. But, once we seize it back, might be a good spot for a barony.
Hmm. Okay. I don't want to. Like, I have nothing else I want to talk about.
Yeah. Just know, like, if any, to for a barony to even exist, like, people have to want it.
I have some stuff I need to think about. In certain ways, I don't think my brain is built for politics. Not at least without some training. But
Yeah, I'm all built for that. It's kind of
mm,
why I was able to get Conrad to admit why the Tremere made this entire fucking bloodline and incriminate his entire clan.
yeah, that was well done.
I kind of
You know,
expected him to feed us a line of bullshit. I was actually expecting it to go way differently. So when he just gave us the deets, I was just like, oh, I don't have to fucking say anything. I'm just gonna sit here and eat bloody popcorn because I don't have to do anything now. I can just sit here
how does
and
popcorn taste? By the way,
taste pretty. Tastes very sweet. Um,
before my time.
yeah. It kind of tastes. Yeah, it's kind of sweet, soft. Um, kind of like fluffy almost.
She kind of looks
Um,
skeptical at you. Yeah, they also told me blood wines would taste really great. Ugh.
Blood wines. I mean, that's
Yeah,
still wine.
that.
This has blood in it.
Yeah, but that shit tastes awful. I
Yeah,
could.
no. I prefer to drink straight from the source, if you know what I mean.
Mm,
Like a water fountain, just more gross.
it's all right.
The I mean, I guess to head back to your original point or your original question, I wouldn't say I was the only person there who like looked collected. I feel like my whole clan put on a good show. To be honest, we're all the ones that are supposed to friend
And
you.
that
That was good.
guy from the Ventru.
Oh, he just sat there.
Yeah.
Bloody, he probably heard that entire thing gone down. He's probably got his own little plan going on now. I don't
Mm.
trust him one bit. He's when someone does that, when someone does that, they got an agenda. They're just not willing to say what it is. They're not willing to give anything away. But what they do give away is when they refuse to do anything or say anything at a meeting where they're supposed to fucking lead. What they're saying is, "I have an agenda," but I'm not gonna risk showing you what that agenda is. That's what he's doing. So he's got his own fucking plan going, and I honestly wouldn't be very surprised if if a plan we had at that meeting went fucking tits up because he pulled something.
I don't like
That,
people like that.
yeah, this guy, I don't know what it is, but that guy sketches me out. The fact that he
I'll
said
keep
and
an
did
eye on
nothing
him.
at that meeting. Yeah, yeah. I'd be careful with him though. He's an elder venture, so if you learn anything he doesn't want you to know about, he may try and just make you forget about it.
We'll
So I'd
see
be very
about that.
careful with him. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go unless there's anything else.
Nah, nah. I think you're all good.
This
If I
has been
get
a very
anything,
good and interesting conversation.
oh yeah, no. It's you know what? I like to think I have. I am. I'm the. I'm the innovator in interesting conversations.
I think so too. We should meet
Well,
again and talk. This is good.
yeah, no, we definitely should. And if stuff happens regarding, if once we kicked out the sabbat, I'll let you know about it.
That club of yours, what kind of club is it?
Oh, it's a gothic punk club.
Is it a sixth thing?
Um, no, you would look incredibly out of place there, though.
Nah, okay. It's still better than that weird sixth thing. That really,
Oh, what the BDSM club? What was it called? Insomnia or something?
yeah, whatever. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
care. Like,
better than that, but that's kind of rock bottom.
no, it's just a giant. It's a place made to celebrate a waste of time. That's what that place
uh,
is. It's just like pointless on top of pointless. I don't get it, but well, it's just a waste of time in my opinion. But hey,
I could make a lot of jokes there, but I don't want to be mean. I feel like it would be discrimination.
what's discriminate? Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah,
I
never
get it.
mind. I'll leave you to it. Um,
Okay, goodbye, Vance. And she just waves at you and begins to leave.
let's see, Lee. Oh shit! Wait a second. He goes to unlock the door because he actually did lock it when he walked back in.
Okay.
There you go. Open the door for you. See you around.
All right, bye. And she just begins to move away.
Yeah.
And she gets downstairs and she collects her ghoul. She waves goodbye to the very
To Chansey,
innocuous,
yeah,
very
he gives you a little wave when he sees you go and waving goodbye to Vance. He'll just wave at you. So now then you have this giant like this guy is like easily like a foot taller than Vance, maybe like a foot and a half taller, even just waving at you with Vance. So it's a very curious sight.
as she comes over and gets it down, she'll go, "You should probably get a jacket like his." The ghoul just looks at her. Um, okay. Don't you think it's cool? The ghoul turns around, looks at it, and goes, uh, isn't it a little visible? I think you should get it, and I should get the, yeah, I should get a jacket like that. And with new wardrobe choices in fresh in mind, I do believe that this is the moment we will stop our scene.
Yeah. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.